Welcome to Exploring Careers in Early Childhood Education at the KEC Career Conference. My name is Steve Kimmel. First of all, I'd like to take a little time to get to know each other. I'm going to ask a couple questions of you, knowing that we have some people in the classroom as well as some people who are joining us online. First of all, what school do you attend? What are your favorite subjects or classes right now? And what are some things that you think you might want to do when you enter adulthood and get a job? Now about me. I have worked as an early childhood teacher or early childhood center director for about 35 years, so I have a lot of years of experience working with children and families. Now my job here at KEC is to teach high school students about early childhood education. So I'm going to proceed with this presentation just by answering a few questions for you. So the first question is, what is early childhood education? Early childhood education is defined as the time between birth through age 8, so when children are youngest. Early childhood teachers therefore educate children from birth through approximately 3rd grade, which is about how old kids are when they're 8 years old. The role of an educator is to help people learn the skills and the knowledge that they need to be able to lead a good, purposeful, and fulfilling life. So here is a little picture kind of showing the development. So we have a very young baby on the far left through a 2nd or 3rd grader on the far right. And at the top, it illustrates how brain development happens rapidly during this time period. So the next question is, where do early childhood teachers work? One place in which many early childhood teachers work are in child care centers or preschools where children from birth through kindergarten attend. Many of you may have attended a child care or a preschool or an early childhood center when you were growing up. Another place where early childhood teachers work are in family child care homes for birth through grade school. My wife has a family child care home, so today we have about 6 children at my home who have come there while their parents go to work, and my wife helps them to learn and takes care of them while their parents are working. Early childhood teachers also work in elementary and grade schools in classes from kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. Sometimes early childhood teachers and early childhood professionals work in hospitals or other places that care for young children. The next question to help you is to answer, what do early childhood teachers do? So what does an early childhood teacher do each day when they go to work? First of all, I'm going to focus on teachers working in child care or preschool settings. They care for all the needs of the children. Since they have children varying in ages, they help with feeding children, helping children use the toilet, changing diapers, helping children have rest and naps. So all the basic physical needs that children have are something that early childhood teachers help to meet. Another thing teachers do is to develop close relationships with the children and their families. When children come to a child care center or preschool, it's kind of like the teachers become another set of parents for the children. So it's very important that the teachers form very close, supportive, caring, gentle relationships with the children. Another thing early childhood teachers in childcare and preschool do is they design and arrange inviting classrooms where children can explore and learn through various play activities. So the classroom that we're in right now is kind of a hybrid classroom, where on the right side here is where the high school students sit while we're having class, and on the left side here we have it divided into kind of a mini early childhood classroom. So we have a block area, we have a table toy area, we have a reading area, housekeeping area, art area. So one thing that early childhood teachers do is to set up the classroom as a great place for children to learn and play. Another thing early childhood teachers do is they read books to children, they sing with children, they do art with children. So early childhood teachers are really engaged and active in the work and the play of children in their class. Another thing early childhood teachers do is they play outside with children, helping them to have fun, learn skills, and stay safe while they're playing outside. Another important responsibility is to carefully supervise children to make sure they're safe both inside and outside. So early childhood teachers need to be able to see the children at all times to make sure that they are safe in the classroom and on the playground. And the last thing I've listed here is to love and care for children while they're with you and away from their families. Oftentimes, a child care is the first time that a child really spends time away from his or her parents. So the teacher really needs to be nurturing, loving, and caring to the children in her care or his care. The last thing I've listed here is they help children learn in the most natural way to them. So how do you think children learn best? Children learn best through play. Play is the natural way in which children learn. On each of the desks in front of you, I have a plaything for you to kind of play with during our presentation here today. When children play with these things, they're learning colors, they're learning shapes, they're learning sizes, they're developing the fine muscle skills, the fine motor skills to use their fingers, they're learning how to coordinate their eyes with their hands, so they're learning while they're engaged in play. When children play together, they're learning to cooperate, they're learning to share, they're learning to take turns, all those kind of things. So children learn best and most naturally through play. I have just a few pictures here. So the picture on the left are some children playing in the block area. So they have blocks of different sizes, they have some vehicles, so they're working together, they're experimenting, they're problem solving, they're being creative. On the right, this little girl is playing with some Duplo blocks and using those fine muscle skills, being creative, learning about balance, learning about shapes, learning about sizes. Lower left here are a teacher with some kids also playing with blocks. These are some larger blocks. So you'll see how the kids are all cooperating together. And on the right, this little girl is pouring some water into a water table. And then the last picture here shows some kids learning outside on their playground. So they're developing a lot of large muscle skills, a lot of strength, a lot of endurance as they're playing on the climber here. Continuing with what do early childhood teachers do? So we just talked about childcare and preschool, where the youngest of the children go. Early childhood teachers may also work in an elementary or a grade school, just like you went to before you went to middle school. In these settings, teachers teach children basic skills that they need for school success, including subjects such as math, science, language arts, social studies, technology, physical education, and more. Typically in grade school, a teacher has to be able to teach a variety of subjects as they have a homeroom and they teach multiple topics to the kids in their homeroom. So it's a little bit different than middle school where you go to one teacher for science, another teacher for math, and so on. In grade school and elementary school, usually one teacher teaches multiple topics. Another thing that all teachers do, no matter whether they're in a grade school or child care center preschool, is they provide guidance to children. They guide children's behavior, helping them to learn to make good choices that help kids learn and stay safe. So not all kids know how to make good choices right away, and teachers help children learn to make good choices and to have good behavior. Another thing teachers do in an elementary setting is they prepare and present lesson plans that describe what students should be learning through an activity or lesson. So everything that they do has the intention of helping kids learn through that activity or through that lesson. They also work closely with parents to best serve student needs. So they work with parents through phone conversations, through parent-teacher conferences, through parent meetings, that kind of stuff. And pictured here is just what an elementary school might look like on the. So now that we've talked about what early childhood teachers do, some settings in which they work, I'm going to talk about some characteristics that make someone a good early childhood. So the first characteristic that I have listed here is patience. You need to be very patient. Children and students are going to develop at different ages. They're going to learn things in different ways. So a teacher has to be very patient because some kids are going to get the concept quickly and some kids are going to need more help and more attention to get the concept. So patience is important. Creativity is really important. Setting up the classroom takes a lot of creativity, a lot of real thinking of how to do things. Offering art experiences takes creativity. Doing a movement activity with children where you're singing and dancing takes creativity. So creativity is a very important skill for children to have, or teachers to have. They are also hardworking. It takes a lot of hard work to set up the classroom and then to go day after day after day and to work with the children. So hard work is a very important characteristic for a teacher to have. High energy kind of goes along with that. In childcare and preschool, the kids nap halfway through the day, but the teachers don't get that nap. So you have to have that high energy to be able to keep up with the students as the day progresses. A love for children. Love for children is a big one. I have always had a very strong love and compassion for working with children. So this has helped me to go in day after day after day and care for the children in my classroom. So love for children is a big one. Interest in learning, education, and school. So one of the goals that I always had was for kids to learn to love school. Kids are going to learn to love school when their teacher loves school. So you need to be interested in learning, education, and school. Need to be a relationship builder. So you're going to have relationships with the children in your class, with any co-teachers that you have, with parents. So you need to be able to relate well with others and really build relationships with others. Need to be a lifelong learner. This is something that I enjoyed most about early childhood because every single day I would learn something new. I have a kind of a thirst and an ambition for learning new things. Now that I'm teaching high schoolers instead of preschoolers, I'm learning new stuff every single day. Lastly, you need to be fun. Kids want to be around fun teachers, so you need to be a fun person who's able to laugh, build, explore, run, jump, climb, do all those things, and be fun with the students that they're working with. Next, we're going to answer the question, what can I do to become an early childhood teacher? First of all, I would encourage all of you as 8th graders to work hard in school. When you work hard in school, good things happen. So I encourage you to work hard in school, to study hard, to pay attention in class, those kind of things. I encourage you also to keep out of trouble, and I'm sure you've heard this from adults many times, to keep out of trouble, but I encourage you to surround yourself with good friends doing good things so you go in a good direction. When you're working with children, one thing that you have to do before you can get a job is to have a background check. A background check, they're going to look and see what kind of stuff you've done in your life. If you've gotten in trouble with the law, that's going to show up on a background check. And oftentimes, depending on the kind of trouble it was, that would ban you from being able to work with children. So it's really important now as your 8th graders and going into high school next year that you keep out of trouble. When you get to high school, I encourage you to take the college-bound track as a high school student. College degrees are needed for many teaching jobs working with young children. Elementary schools definitely need a college degree. Childcare and preschool need some college, but perhaps not a college degree. So I really encourage you when you get into high school to take classes that are going to lead you well to going to college after high school. I also encourage you to look for opportunities when you can work with students. So when I was growing up, I babysat for the kid next door to me. I volunteered at my church to work with children there. So anything that you can do to gain some experience working with children is a good thing. Last one I have on here is pay attention to who you are. Do you like helping others by teaching? I have a daughter who's a sophomore in high school now, and all growing up in elementary school, she was one of the kids that would help her friends to learn something. She's always loved to help them learn by teaching them something, and she's kind of aimed in the direction now of being a teacher. Are you patient working with others? Think of any sports teams you're on or any activities you're in. Are you patient with others when you do that? Do you like to play and help others play? Playing, as I said earlier, is the primary way in which children learn. So early childhood teachers need to be somebody who likes to play. Do you like school and want to spend time to school even when you're finished being a student? So early childhood teachers kind of go to school their entire lives. So you have to make sure that school is an environment and a place where you want to be. Does learning interest and excite you? I love learning and I love helping others to learn. It's interesting to me. It's exciting to me. So that is something that I know about myself that helps me to be a good early childhood teacher. Next, I want to talk about what are some benefits of being an early childhood teacher. So what does it do for you? The first thing, you get kids first. You get to help them learn to love school and learning and really set them on the right path. So I liked working with 2-year-olds because they're new, they're fresh. I can help them learn that school is a fun place, that they're going to form friendships, that they're going to have fun, do cool stuff, do science experiments, do all kinds of stuff. So I was able to help them learn to love school and to set them on the right path. You get to teach children so many things, from how to get along with each other, to how to build an imaginary volcano, to how to build a ramp that you can roll balls down, to how you can read a book, to how you can make a picture, to how you can build with these things, to how you can explore the tree logs. So you get to help children learn so many different things when you work with very young children. You get the satisfaction of helping children when they're sad and celebrating when they have successes. So all of us have emotions, things that we feel, and you get to help kids to understand these emotions and help them to kind of learn how to handle when they feel sad or they feel excited or they feel lonely or they feel like they're missing their parents. Next one I have here is you get to remain a kid. You still get to play every day. You can still be curious. You can still run outside and more. So if you're somebody who likes to be active and you like to play and have fun, teaching is something for you to consider. You help children's brains develop. Its brains develop most in the early childhood years. So I don't have the statistics with me right now, but something like 90% of your brain size happens by the time you're 5 years old. So the brain is rapidly developing, and you get to help to build that brain. You get to be respected by others, as teaching is an important career. People value teachers because teachers do an important job. So the next thing I'm going to answer, which is the last one, is how can KEC, Kishwaukee Education Consortium, where you are right now, help me in my career? So we offer early childhood education classes where high school juniors and seniors learn to be teachers. So right now I have 2 classes that come here every single day, and we do activities. We learn about being a teacher. So you get to come here to early childhood classes and learn how to be a teacher. In this classroom, we learn about children and how to help them learn. That's basically what we're here for. And we practice what we learn by having a small preschool where community children attend as high school students learn too. So we're not doing it this semester because I just started here, but children come in here and we set this up as an early childhood classroom. The kids are learning, playing, and having fun. The high school students are teaching them, are getting that experience of working with real live children and helping them to learn and have fun. I have pictured here just a few things that we have done this semester. We had one week we were learning about blocks and building, and each of we formed some teams and they did some building. Down here is when we were doing some art. They were we put some paper on this table over here, and they were dipping vehicles in paint and driving them on the paper. Here's another art picture where we were doing marble rolling, and over here is another building one where a couple students were building with some unit blocks. All right. Do you have any questions for me about being an early childhood teacher? All right. Thank you for attending.